This is Erin Hobson with Rhinebeck School of Music, and in this video we are going to talk about borrowed harmony, and in particular we are going to talk about turning the 4 chord in a major key into a minor chord. So normally in a major key the 4 chord is a major chord. Your 1 and your 4 and your 5 are major chords. But sometimes you might be playing a song and all of a sudden the 4 chord comes around and it's a minor chord, and it's sort of this element of surprise. It's a little bit different to the ear and a little unexpected. So you have this tension and then you resolve it. So this is called a borrowed chord or borrowed harmony, meaning you're taking a chord from another key and putting it into the existing key that you're working with. So another term for this particular move that we're about to learn is parallel harmony. So we're going to analyze the chords in C major and the chords in C minor as an example, because C is an easy key and most people know it. So if you look at the chords in C major, the 1, 4, 5 are major, but if you look at the chords in C minor, the 1, 4, 5 are all minor chords. So essentially what we're going to be doing is we're borrowing that 4 minor chord from the minor key and putting it in the major key. So the first couple of examples I'm going to use are going to be the 4 minor to the 1 major, but the last couple of examples I'm going to use are going to be the 4 chord going to the 5 major chord and the 4 chord going to the 6 minor chord. So all of these you can find as examples in popular music. So example number 1 is going to be In My Life by the Beatles. It's in the key of A, so your 1, 4, 5 would be A major, D major, E major, but they're going to take that D major and turn it into a D minor. So if we look at the notes in that D minor chord, we have D, F, and A. The notes of the A major chord are A, C sharp, and E. So between those two chords, you have A as a mutual note, as the 5th of D minor and the root of A major. But the F is going to resolve down to the 5th of the A, so that minor 3rd in D minor is going to go down to E. And the D chord, the root of the D minor, is going to resolve a half step down to C sharp, which is the major 3rd of the A major chord. So you get this half-step dissonance between that D and F that resolve nicely a half step down to A, so that's why it works. It's this tension they throw in, and then it's immediately resolved by the next chord. So here we go. There are places I'll remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone and some remain. So that D major, D minor, resolving to A major. So that's an example of a 4 minor resolving to the 1 major. Another one that follows this example, I Will Follow You Into the Dark by Death Cab for Cutie. This is a more modern example. So this one is in C major, and the same rule applies here, where you've got an F major chord, which is the 4 chord, going to an F minor chord and then resolving to the C chord. So again, in F minor you have F, A flat, C, and then in C major you have C, E, and G. So you have the mutual C note, and then the F and the A flat of the F minor resolving down to the E and G of the C major a half step. So you have the tension, the resolution. So here it is. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. If heaven and hell decide that they both are satisfied, illuminate the nodes on their vacancy sides. There's no one beside you when your soul embarks. I will follow you into the dark. So you have that F, F minor, resolve to C. It works really nicely there. Another common example, Sleepwalk. So you may have wondered, you have this C, A minor, but then F minor. So this is an example of going from the 4 minor to the 5 major chord. From that F minor to the G. So normally the F in the key of C would be F major, right? You'd have C, A minor, F major, G major, but putting in that minor chord gives it a little bit more of a moodier sound. The notes in F minor are F, A flat, C. The notes in G major are G, B, D, right? So F to G is a whole step apart, C to D is a whole step apart, and then A flat to B is a minor third. So you got two voices in the F minor chord resolving a whole step up to the G major. But it doesn't have like a final resolution, it's just leading to this next chord, this 5 chord, which eventually resolves to the C. Another example of the 4 minor to the 5 major in a song, Patsy Cline, Walking After Midnight. So it's a similar thing, it's in C, you have C to C7, to F, to D minor, to G, and then C, F minor, G, C. So again, the F minor to the G, you're not resolving the F minor, you're just taking it and voice leading it to the 5 chord, which eventually resolves to the 1 chord. I go walking after midnight, out in the moonlight, just like we used to do. I'm always walking after midnight, searching for you. So that's a pretty cool tension, and that eventually resolves. In my last example, Eye in the Sky by Alan Parsons. This one is in the key of D. The D chord is the 1 chord, so a G major would be the 4 chord, but they turn it into a minor, a G minor, and then it goes to B minor. So you have G minor, which is G, B flat, D, and you have B minor, which is B, D, F sharp. So the G goes a half step to the F sharp on the next chord. The D is the same note in both, is a mutual note. And then the B flat in the G minor resolves to the B in the B minor. And remember that B minor can be a sub for D major. They're similar chords, right? So I'll play this example. Don't say words you're gonna regret. And don't let the fire rush to your head. I've heard the accusation before, but I ain't gonna take any more. Believe me, the sun in your eyes made some of the lies worth believing. So it's a pretty cool songwriting device. You'll see it in so many songs. There's so many more examples I could give, but obviously want to keep these lessons a little shorter if possible. If you haven't already, become a patron, patreon.com/Rhinebeck School of Music. Visit rhinebeckschoolofmusic.com to know more about lessons and the school. You can leave a comment with some of your favorite borrowed harmony songs. See you at the next one.